You would.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your girl, Ransom, and I'm coming at you with another episode, and today I bring a fucking awesome-ass couple. We have Tori and Conny here. Go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Hi, I'm Tori. That's what.
Peace, y'all. I'm the Divine Prince, Conny the Great.
There it is.
There it was.
There it is.
Disclaimer, Conny technically still is my student, but he did Reiki 1, so he's all up in the Reiki, so yay. And so I wanted to bring you on because it's like we want to have conversations. This is our Vybez Don't Lie segment, and we want to get as raw and real as we can. And I know I was picking your brain. I was like, what could we talk about? Because we're funny. We could talk about anything. And you were like, let's do interracial couples.
Let's do the
and I said,
stuff.
let's do the uncomfortable stuff. So I got my things and questions here.
I'm so glad you were prepared.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going to start, but we're going to start. Let's see. Let's go big. Let me pick a good one. But let's see. We'll start easy. When you first got together, did either of you feel like you were crossing a line, whether like culturally, society, or like within your family?
You go ahead.
There's a lot of ways to answer that question. So from like a relationship sexual standpoint, no, because this was one of the very first times I was ever intimate with someone where there was zero like entitlement. Neither one of us had intentions to be with each other. It was really for like, there was definitely like a spiritual attraction there, but there was never it was not rooted in like a typical form of lust that I think I was really used to. So there was never this attachment. Now that being said, there is so funny that you bring that up because like also yes at the same time. Like culturally, I personally believe not a lot of white people period should be in interracial relationships, whether that be black people, whatever. And I mean, we can get into why that is, you know.
Yeah,
I can go on a rant about that.
We'll hold that thought.
But
we'll get there.
But also, I mean, the way Conny and I got together was very like, whoa. Whoa, like this was not supposed to happen by any stretch of the imagination. Okay. And I mean, I can get into more depth of that too, but like that's also a long story within itself of like how we even got together.
If I remember, it's a little Alabama-ish.
Girl, Alabama-ish is crazy.
It was perks of me and Connie's conversation prior to this.
Alabama.
We'll say middle America.
Middle America. Now, what about you? Did you feel like you was crossing the line getting with Tori? In any capacity?
Yeah, there was a certain point, like we get into the conversation of desire and where desire.
Keep going.
It's like that was like, let me not blow my nose in the middle of him talking.
Man, but no, it was like I told you our story. If you know, you know, and it for us it was more so like the boundaries that were meant to be broken, you know, and us getting together. It was really guided by a subconscious processes. Like everyone around us knew that we would be together before we were together, and then we look up and we're right here. So then it was more so like we call it like an initiation, essentially. Like it's been weird. Like we feel like we've been together 10 years. It's been 5 and
something like that.
3, maybe 4, you know. But
wait, hold on. You can't just go with 5 and then go back to 3. That's kind of like a gap there. What you mean?
But that's what it is. Like it's timeless. Like shit.
This is for real. Like we've never put like, this is one of the first times when I say it's like, when I say there's no entitlement, like things just worked. But like that also being said, like no, I don't got a date for anything. We ain't got no anniversaries.
This is very Aquarius coded.
Like just
unconventional.
It's been a few years. We got a couple of babies.
We got a baby that's 2, so we know it's been at least 3 years.
Screaming. Okay. Now, would you say your relationship is like healing racial tension or quietly reproducing it?
I think that's a perspective-based thing. I think it depends on how you feel. I mean, if there's one thing I've learned is that perspective is reality.
Facts.
And I think for people that believe in healing the Black family, which I also firmly believe in, it can cause a lot of tension, because seeing a amazing Black man be with a white woman can cause a lot of harm for can cause a lot of, I don't even want to say harm, but like can cause a certain feeling for Black women, which I can't pretend to understand, but I do see, and I'm not going to pretend like it's not there. So, but then at the same time, like, it can also be healing, because there are people that exist that are the product of interracial relationships, and I think seeing a healthy interracial relationship and having a white mom that is willing to admit and own and work through the things that come with being a white person instead of pretending like they never fucking existed is also really healing for people. So again, it's a perspective thing.
She can't be talking for everything.
Nah, but that's the dynamic of our relationship. Like, that's why I love her, because it's like, that's what it is. Like, that's the truth. It is based on everybody's perspective, but in our reality, it's a modem of healing. Like, it's like, I grew up in predominantly white environment, so it, like, the more I grow up, like, yeah, it's a subconscious process. He's like, because this is what I grew up in, and I sit with that often, and like, we get into the conversation of like karmic mates, twin flames, and different things, and we had to sit with that for a while. Like, is this karma? Are we here to teach each other a lesson? And like, like, everything is a lesson. So like, but we continue to evolve in our knowing of what love is, in hopes that it translates to our kids, and like she said, teaching the foundation of the Black family. Like, I teach my kids, you can't cut it twice. Daddy cut it once.
Yeah, no, for real.
Daddy cut it once. You can't cut it again. If you do, then like, everything has choices, and like, that's what we're processing now, is just the different cultures and environments that go into these unions that these babies now have to cipher and filter out what is them, what is self, what is their I am, you know? So
damn, that brought up two questions. One is, well, one of them was going to be like, is there one culture that like dominates the household more than the other? But then the other question I was going to ask was, would you be attracted to each other if you were the same race?
I knocked it. Boy, hey, that's what I told her. If she was black, everything would be perfect. Like that. And that's something like, that's oftentimes like it gets serious too. Like, that's our quarrel. Like, I tell her, like, it brings up like self-worth issues. Like, it's not that I have an issue with her as the person. It always just breaks down to that subconscious. Like, I was years fully pro-black, leading BLM rallies. Like, when we first got together,
we were sleeping together, I was rooting for him to be with a black woman. Like, we were pillow talking, like, I'm scrolling, looking on it, like, ooh, she fine. Like, I was rooting for him to be with a black woman. Like, he's always made it very well known that, like, what he craves in terms of beauty, a household, even like, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way to our children, but in what he wants his kids to look like, has always been aimed towards the black family. And that's never something like I took in a personal way or anything. It's something that I wanted for him. So I apologize, I didn't mean to.
No, you good. You explained it. What was the first question? I think
if there's a culture that dominates
the black culture. Like, it's interesting too, because like, since we lost our business, we were in like we call it the in-between, like in-between different phases, and trying to ground it. And with that, like, raising our kids around their white cousins, like, that's the conversation. Like, their cousins are Jewish, essentially.
They are, yeah. My sister's baby daddy is like from Israel. His family was in bomb shelters. Like, but they're also the karma of that as well.
For sure.
So when we break that down, it's like, yeah, what are we going to teach the kids? We'll teach the kids foundational blackness, which is the creation and foundation of the universe. Like, when we remove the social structures, everything still goes back to the black woman, right. You know? So it's like teaching them to have pride and know that, hey, like, okay, if we do break it down, we're in opposite reality. So therefore, the white can represent a part of your shadow, and you can integrate that into your being. And however it plays out, they're 2 and 1. So we'll see how it
that's real
translates. But that's how we want to create a foundation for them in that knowing of, hey, we come from the triple blackness of space, and it's represented through melanin compounds in the body. And it's interesting with the mom, like, so what about mom? Right. And that's when we can teach them about, that's why you can go astray with the flesh. Like, the flesh, it's about what's inside. Once you can get to the internal, then you see why everything else is the way that it is, and you love it to death or love it to life until you can understand what the meaning of it's for.
Did you give? Oh, go on.
I was we named our daughter after, her name is Nubia Estrella, which if you translate Nubia, I mean, it translates to gold, but the Kemet translation of Nubia is black. Ooh. Estrella is star, so she's named after a black star, which is a black hole, the most powerful, most melanated thing in the entire universe. So, and that's our, that's the first thing that we brought into this universe. Like, that was our first physical representation of our love, essentially.
Oh, I love that. Did you guys get any pushback from, like, your families when you guys, I mean, I know that was, like, everybody kind of seen where it was gonna happen, but, like, nobody gave you shit?
No, it was more like okay, like, it was like coming out, like, how I imagine when people come out, like, I got okay, we know. It was more like that. Like, there was some, like, subconscious, like, oh, we know how to act now. There was some, like, slick stuff, but other than that, it was,
I think a big part of that is, if I'm being honest, like, how I'm willing to carry myself. Like, Connie's very authentic, just in the sense of, like, I don't care what white family you have and how fucking cool y'all are. A black man or black woman being in a white household is fucking stressful. I'm sorry, it's annoying. It's like, there's a lot of things that come into play there. So he does a really good job of just, like, maintaining his sense of self and being able to, like, when this is too much or this is something, like, that's doesn't align with me, like, he either speaks up or he just separates himself, which I wholeheartedly respect. But then I was going somewhere. That was the question again?
No, actually, that was definitely, what did I ask? Oh, like, if anybody had a problem with y'all family.
But that being said, too, like, and this is where I say I think a lot of white people shouldn't be in interracial relationships. I think a lot of that is how you answer and carry questions that you're asked by your significant other's family. Like, one thing I think a lot of white people fail at is when people ask them questions, they take things so fucking personally. Right. Like, if it don't apply to you, then why are you getting personal? Can we share information, and can we ask questions without constantly feeling like we're attacked? And that's where I say, like, a lot of white people want to pretend like they've never done anything wrong, or they don't have any of this pre-programming into us, because no matter how woke or cool or integrated into in any sort of melanated society you think you are still pre-programmed by a society to think that your opinions matter more, your voice is more important, your feelings are more important, that you deserve to be heard first. Even just the way that we conversate, I have to catch myself regularly being like, hey, you don't need to be the one that's heard first. You don't need to be involved, and you don't have to answer every single solitary question. Some of those questions are for Connie. Like, and that's something that is programmed into us as white people. And if you can't acknowledge that, and you have family of any other color and they're asking you questions, and everything has to be a fucking personal blow, like, no, bro, I'm not gonna like you. You're definitely gonna get some pushback. So, like, I think that's part of the reason that we've been able to maintain the lack of pushback, because I think a lot of people enter in these relationships and, like, the families are really cool at first, and then you start to have those issues down the road. For sure. So, like, I think we've been able to maintain that because, I mean, everyone, not just me, is able to be like, oh, okay, like, we can have these hard conversations, and it's not, oh, we can't talk to them now, they can't see my kids, I don't want to go over there, like, and it doesn't have to be a big thing.
So, Well, damn, y'all are like answering a God gracious amount of these questions that I had written down. Like, shit, now I gotta like really think about this. I'm like, shit, what do I ask?
We've been waiting to talk about this for 4 years.
Well, I would say, like, I guess this is kind of like prior to you being together. When it comes to dating outside of like your culture, is it more of like a curiosity thing, or more so like for some people it could be a power like dynamic, or like a rebellion towards like their parents and their upbringing and whatnot? Like, how is like for you?
For me, it definitely came from like an ego thing. Like when I was younger, I would never like I'd end up in relationships just because I'm a lover. Like I'm not gonna just be like I couldn't be no P. Like it's not in my heart. But it was always put on me because like I crush a lot.
Got it.
So, but with that, it was
to this day.
Yeah. But with that, it was like, for me, it was before Tori, it was I could get her, and shoot, I wasn't thinking about getting white women pregnant, but I was like, if we get them all pregnant, we get the white man off the planet.
They're all mixed at that point.
You know what I'm saying? You create the new human somehow, some way. They grafted us for some reason, but that was old forms of thinking until love integrated in the system. But yeah, it definitely was a power thing for me at one point. And just accessibility again, growing up in white environments, it's like you get one black chick and she reminds me of my cousin, and so then it's like that dynamic of this ain't attraction, that's cis.
That's family.
And then so then it's like it's hard to like with the racial difference. It's like, okay, yeah, your dad don't like me, cool, come over here. Let me send him a picture. You know what I mean? Like,
that's crazy. Just let me send a picture.
It's
Post
crazy.
on your
No,
Instagram.
for
Tag
real.
him.
for real.
Tag your daddy where you
on
was.
Father's
Day.
Yeah. Bring me to Father's Day.
For real.
Bring me to his birthday. That's funny. What about you, fam?
For me, it's a couple things. First, it was just, I grew up in white Loveland, Colorado.
Oh, that's right. Loveland.
I mean, my dad was all over the place and like we traveled, but I was up in north in Loveland, Colorado. So it was boring. And everybody knew everybody, and one bad experience after another is you're just like, ew. And ew, y'all gross. So like the attraction for white men, period, just like I don't know how else to say it, but I mean, and part of that too, like if I'm being very brutally honest, like some of that's also rooted in like sexual trauma from that sort of stuff. And I'm just going to be totally vulnerable. Like one of my very first sexual experiences with a white dude, he didn't like the way something looked on me. And he made me super self-conscious. And I was just like, No, his name was actually...
She's like, should I out him?
His name was Chaz too, of all names. Like
Chaz,
okay.
Try to put some flair on it.
So whatever. It was just like after that, it drew me to anything but white men. And then when I turned 18, I went to Brazil and got to see all different types of people in the world. And from there, it was just like I could be with pretty much anyone but a white man.
Yeah. That's real as shit.
Yeah.
That's real as shit, bro. I'd be like, they keep them over there.
Yeah. I mean, we could like, what was it my brother used to do with we go throw the frisbees.
Yeah, right. Go do some,
but
go be outside.
Yeah, we go be outside.
Yeah.
But no, thank you.
Have you guys received like any pushback from like maybe like strangers, not even family, because of your relationship, or especially because you have kids?
Nah, sometimes most people think she like Latin or some shit, so it
I'm like, yeah.
It's always, we don't
Look
never
like you got a little
like,
son in there.
Yeah.
And never really got nobody really says nothing to me. Like
I can see them not saying nothing to you.
We're in Colorado though too. A lot of people are fake nice. Like people don't be saying shit to your face. Like, and then people are real big under their breath or at home, and then have big opinions elsewhere. But
we delete that out our reality.
Yeah.
Like if we focus on that, then we be in jail. So it's like,
Yeah.
That's where you put up sensory blockers.
Yeah, we've already seen what happens. You know, they'll send the feds to your house quick. So we know we're powerful. We know when to care about stuff and when not to.
That's right. And then, like, have you guys ever really clashed because of the difference?
I think I don't even would say clash, but I don't want to be ignorant. I feel like there has to have been, like,
if it was definitely subconscious. Like, our clashes come from my perspective, just proximity. Like, I'm a twin, so, like, I need my space. Like, and so it's like, in a relationship, like, it's like, if we're around, like, especially, like, we work where we live, like, with our business, it was, there was no
upstairs.
Separation. So, like, a lot of our conflict comes from proximity, really. Like, we'll see, I guess, when we grow up, if there's any subconscious. When we
grow up, I love
that. Babies grow up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're growing with them. Like, when Nubia's 14 and she's like, "Mom, these weekend came over here and called me da-da-da-da-da." There's, like, that, I'm sure if that ever happens, Tori, I don't want to see that happens. But, like who knows? We don't know the future. Like, that's where it's staying in the now. Like, I don't think that's the case, but it's the future.
Right.
That's great.
We can't see it. You just see the different multi-dimensions of the present that are possibilities.
It's possibilities. The possibilities.
Possibilities.
I love that. Well, I was gonna ask, like, if you've ever had a code switch around each other's families, but it seems your families are pretty fucking chill. But, like,
I think that one's different because, like, I communicate different with my family than I communicate with hers, just because, like, just, I don't know, just ebonics. Like, the amount of emotion that goes into communicating with my family is way different than if I'm up here and I tell them something, they think it's like. And honestly, though, like, it's been a shift to that because, like, my family has been extra sensitive to emotion too, so it's been, like, an interesting, like, seeing the difference and similarities and breaking down the difference between what's racial versus what is a product of class, because both our families are lower middle class, so it's like a lot of our struggle is the same on that tip, and but the race still has like a little separate perspective to it.
For sure.
So,
well, and I feel like if we're being honest, like, I think we just have to acknowledge that there's a certain level of that has to happen no matter what for him, just being a black man, period. Like, I've seen him have to do that just in terms of where is, like, a safe space to be raw and real with your emotions. And I think, like, that's one of the number one things I've learned that's really opened my eyes in terms of, like, okay, like, you can be with a black man, but, like, do you really understand him? Do you really see him? And I think that's the biggest thing that I notice is just he does have to put on, like, I wouldn't call it a mask, I wouldn't call it a cloak, but, like, he does have to be so much more aware of the way his emotions are received to not only my family but even his own family. Like, his emotions are such a bigger burden for them to bear for some reason than it is when I get really worked up or when his sister or my sister get really worked up. And like, I like, no, it's not fair, but, like, that's just when, you know, I've really had to learn that then that's where it's my spot to try to be his safe space. So, like, when he does get worked up, that's where, but, you know, that's a whole different story. But
for sure,
I feel like that for sure does happen regardless. And then for me, I didn't feel like that was really a case at all, but we've been living with his mom for over a year now. And it kind of just hit me a few months ago. I'm like, yeah, you've had to put on, like we all kind of do it, just like you want to be on your best behavior for your significant other's family members, and, like, but it's subconscious. Like, it was a subconscious thing I was doing this whole time and didn't even process it until I was like, bro, I'm fucking tired.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why am I so fucking tired?
You're putting on this character,
and it's not like a character in the sense that like you're being unauthentic or fake, but again, like you're being on your best behavior and you're, trying to
you're adapting to the situation and the environment,
all P's and Q's, and all your I's are dotted, and and then you realize you're like, okay, that's still in a form like it's not truly authentic and it's not sustainable either.
For sure. Would you say either of you have benefited from each other being different? Like, we have white privilege for sure, but like, I don't know. It's interesting, like, because it's like one of those is like, you can open a door that maybe he couldn't open before, and like vice versa, you can open a door that she couldn't open. So like, have you guys had to, have you experienced that?
Definitely. Like, when we, even getting Curtis, like, just the access to a lot of different, getting calls from the city. Like, it's so much little stuff that the label of race on that piece of paper, like we talk about the paper genocide, like it's a paper genocide. When people see African American or Black American on that piece of paper, they instantly go away. Whereas when we were, like, we got Curtis around the street, $1.2 million in the span of 5 months, and a 2-year lease contract.
I emailed them and sent them a letter of intent and stuff, and I mean, they responded instantly. But like, you can ask all of our investors, everybody to this day, everybody has said like, Tori opened that door because I was the one with the credit and that stuff, but nobody would have done anything if it wasn't for this man.
Right.
Like, he was what made people believe in it. But like, to answer your question, yes, like, we wouldn't have gotten there without me being the stepping stone to open that up, because there is, like he said, a paper genocide. Like, it's there, it's very real, and I had the ability to get past that without people second guessing things or trying to ask you too many questions or trying to make you give proof of funds up front, which is what I've seen all the time. I mean, I was in the finance industry for 8 years. I know firsthand exactly how banks try to treat people differently when they get an application that says, like you said, Black or white. It makes a huge difference in terms of what steps and everything the banks ask for. So
Damn.
But yeah, I feel like we did a really good job of using that to our benefit, I guess, because
shield to push you up rather than
we could have done a lot better job. Like, we should have, what coulda, shoulda, woulda, like, and everything. Hindsight is 20/20. But looking back, like, we definitely should have applied for women-owned businesses and then Black-owned businesses. Like, at the end of the day, it was a 50-50 owned business. Like, there were a lot of different things that we could have done that would have helped sustain it, and it would have been even better. But we know that now, and moving forward, like, yeah, we're definitely going to take advantage of that shit. But but for sure, opening up the door, it makes a big difference, I think.
Shit. I guess my last question would be, like, do you have any, go on, blow that horn. Gotta make light of it. I guess, like, do you guys have any concerns for your kids, like, in what they might, like, because, like, I feel like, because, like, for me, because my mom definitely looks way more white than, like, she is, but she's definitely more, like, Spanish and, like, Native American and whatnot, but very white passing. And then I have a Black dad, and it was like, I had more of that experience where it was growing up where it's like, I didn't know what mixed was, or like that it was one or the other, until I got to school and people were like, so what are you? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm brown. They're like, nah, you gotta be something, like, is your dad Black, or like, is your mom white? Like, what is you? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Then I go home and I'm like, yo, mom, like, what are they asking me if I'm Black or white? And she's like, well, your dad's Black, so you're Black. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm brown. Like, you see, he looked different than me. And
not that dark.
Yeah, I'm like, and I don't look like you. And she's like, no, you're mixed. Like, but like, for her, and like, from what my mom said, it was like, she never even thought about it, of being like, oh, I need to tell you that there is a mixture that has happened. This is like, you kind of just, so like, yeah, for you.
I think that's where, like, we go back into that foundational aspect. Like, I wouldn't have never gotten with her and had kids if she didn't understand that about, like, my being. Like, my being is like 4,000, 6,000 years of oppression compact into this vessel to give a message. So it's like, with the kids, like, I don't have fear. I'm working on removing fear. It's more so just I know how attraction goes.
Yeah.
So it's not so much worried about my daughter, like, 'cause like that's Nubia's thread. Like if he, I don't know, like we can have all these different. Like I sit there and I'm like, oh, if you bring him home one day, I'm be like, it's gonna be like that, boy.
No, for real.
Yeah, her uncle gonna be at the door.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I think the big thing really is just teaching them that, but teaching them that what the definition of love is and truly encompassing that and showing them that in our relationship so that we can be proud with whoever they're with after that. And if it is a Caucasian, then they need to show and prove the essence of the soul to show that, hey, this bloodline isn't gonna be erased and eradicated.
She's like,
here.
God.
Please though.
And then you gotta deal with her mama, who is the big Caucasian.
They're gonna need to be more worried about me than their dad, for sure.
Well, I don't. It's again trying not to have the fear involved with it, like, cause like that's how you create that, like. I don't want to be like, ooh, come on, son, there's the white kid.
I'm screaming. I don't know, some of them be questioning. Like, let's get over
no,
here.
I was about to say, I'm going to be the one doing that, like, getting
Like,
get away from them.
Yeah.
Well, because being for real, like, I grew up around it. I know, like, I'm not playing about my babies at all. I know, like, and I think that's what so many people are so ignorant of. Like, no, I've seen it. I've lived it. I've been around it. I'm not here to pretend like I'm perfect, but I will abso-fucking-lutely make sure my kids, if I see it, no, they're not going to be around it at all.
Oh yeah,
at all. Like,
yeah. If I see it, yeah, that's when Leslie comes out as a
I'm
parent.
screaming, Leslie!
No,
Patricia!
those babies.
Patricia's coming out.
Tell your son to watch out and get away from my kids.
Yeah. No, definitely don't play about the babies. Can I ask you a question, though? So, like, back to what you were just saying about your mom, like, do you wish your mom would have talked to you about that sooner so that way that wasn't something when kids were asking you in school that, like, you had the answer to?
Oh, my God, yes. And also it's because, like, my grandma was racist as fuck. She might not act like it, but she be racist as fuck.
I remember you saying that
no,
somewhere.
she do.
You said
Like, it'd
something
be like,
about that.
at the first time I got braids done, she, like, I came down because she was, like, dropping some shit off and, like, again, I think my grandma thought her filter was on because what she meant to say was, is this what we're doing now? But what came out was, so are you a nigga now? And I was like, Grandma, I've always been. Like, what you mean? Grandma. I was like, just because I got my hair braided, she went home and talked shit to my mom. My mom was like, bro, she's not liking your hair. But, like, I think it would have been important to have that. And also, I don't feel like my father, either of the fathers I had, were good representations of just having Black culture in the house and understanding that and being in that energy. It was like I was put more into like the Chicano Latin side of it, and it was like you want to get a nice brown boy or like maybe a good white man or something, but it was never like you want a Black man. And it was like, oh, and so
That's really interesting.
it was weird. And so it was like, and then in school, like after getting questioned, and also because I already have this conditioning in my head of my grandma being like kind of like yuck in that sense. So when my mom was like, you're Black, I was like, and I cried. And I was like, oh my God, I'm all the things my Nana has ever said.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had a hard time being like, okay. And so I had to like really educate myself to be like, okay, this isn't true. Like, what is this? And then I remember telling that story, and this girl, it was like in high school. And like at this point, I was very like, cool, like I'm mixed, like this is what it is. And I was telling my story to be like, you know, like basically to be like, here's my journey of like coming out of that whole like, oh, it's bad to be Black, to being like, no, I'm like very proud to be even half of it. And it was like this girl, because she was from, I think she was from Nigeria, so that also plays a huge part into that. But like she found that out and she got so pissed off at me, and she was like, you should be proud to be Black and how dare you cry, and like she went in on me. And I was like, I was a child when that shit happened. Like I'm fucking a teenager now. I'm just saying like that is what happened to me, and that I had to undo a lot of that conditioning so that I could be in a space where it's like, no, everything's cool, like, and then I could talk to people and be like, nah. But like it was, no, I definitely had a hard time, like, because I did not understand the concept of like mixing and like one versus the other, and then not having the combination of it growing up. And then like even my like stepdad, when he found out about it, he was just kind of like, he just shook his head and was just like, that's just a shame, but like didn't go and be like, okay, here, Ransom, let me like break it down for you, this is blah 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 blah. I was like, I think they expected me to just like learn it through experience or something, and I was like,
How old were you? How old did you say you were when you like?
When I found out,
Yeah.
I was probably like 9, 10.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Like, because I went to a white school,
Yeah.
and it was like, I think I and my brother and one other kid were like the only black kids in the school.
Did
so
they teach sex ed at their school in 5th grade?
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm.
See,
I don't
and
feel like I
that's-
had any sex ed classes, truth be honest.
I think
I
that's-
think that's the weirdest thing is I did not have that aspect where it's like the birds and the bees. Like I got a book and I was like, cool, I'm gonna go read this book about my body.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then I was like, cool, this is what, and then like my mom was like, if you got any questions in the book, let me know. I was like, I don't even know what to ask, bro. Like, so I read the book and I was like, cool, there's different body types, there's different vajayjays, like, cool.
That's crazy.
But
Yeah,
like,
that's
yeah.
insane. That's
Mhm.
I think that's another part that goes into like the miseducation of people. Like 5th grade was when I had like we were mandated to take like sex education
Mhm.
and they sat us in there. So this is a vagina. This is a
Yeah, no, like I didn't know that. Mhm.
But it's like for me, I had like a similar kind of like race experience, but it was in kindergarten. They had, you know, they have you draw the self portraits and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm drawing my self portrait. I'm like, yes, I can draw myself. I'm lit. I got all the colors. I'm drawing every color from the rainbow. I got reds, greens, blues, everything. I just draw like a light figure. And then my teacher's like, like we go to show, and she's like, Connie, I think we need to do this different.
Mm.
And I'm looking at everybody's, and I'm like connecting the dots. I'm like,
Mm.
damn, y'all. And then like with the Capricorn like that, then it became like a hyperfixation on being right about stuff.
Right.
Because I was so much into like, oh yeah, I'm drawing me, and like it took like me sitting with Tori. We were on a trip, and like I had processed that. Like damn, like that's when race shattered my perspective of multidimensionality, and it was just 7th grade, and around that same time was when I was a vulnerability moment. I was sexually assaulted, so it was like the two I've always like coincided with me. So like it just like it's interesting to hear like not everybody has those sex education classes, because like that's where we get into like why the world is the way it is, and so much lust is on the planet, because we don't have that foundational understanding of where evolution is going. Like the evolutionary theory has been disproven, but yet we haven't had science come out to be like, oh nah, yeah, they are Neanderthals, and this is but so how are we supposed to be having sex? So it's like, and then like we break that down too, like in our relationship, like again, like I think every beautiful woman should have the chance to meet Nirvana through a black man, and it's like we can look at that from a taboo, low level form, but I think the planet, especially with like LGBTQIA movements and different just dual spirit aspects, like understanding the full embodiment of the spirit and harnessing that from youth, like learning the difference between sexual energy and lust, like teaching the babies from it, like, and that's where to be like, I'm glad all the Moloch and all the deities are getting their shit off the planet right now, so we can actually like be innocent in our expression, because I think that's what the planet is missing out on right now, and it's hard to talk about, because like a lot of it is stuff we went through when we were kids, and now we're adults processing this stuff from an adolescent mind, and that's when people, like, you get shame and you get different things put onto it from different people from the field. So it's like I'm excited to get to a future where we actually educate everybody on what that life force energy is used for, and his story, her story. Like if we can explain her story, then everything else, the babies the baby, who knows what the hell they'll be doing? Like you see the parties that we work at. It's like who knows what that.
They be doing some crazy shit.
Who knows what that shit? But who knows what the positive aspect of that looks like in 20 years? You know,
right.
With people who are actually authentic versus the Netflix show she's watching with the people who are lying. There's a whole app for people to cheat.
What you watching? The Ashley Madison documentary.
Oh, that shit is so fucking crazy, bro. I was like, yo, people was getting caught up on that shit, and I was like, this is all bad.
Time, bro uses that app for booking. Yeah, I was like, whoa.
And that's the crazy thing that we get back to though is that it's just like there's so much just rooted in entitlement, and I think that's what's so beautiful about this new generation, and actually what I love about like millennials and stuff becoming parents is I think a lot of us are waking up and realizing like we don't own our kids. This may be like a product of me and their dad, but I don't own this little person. Like this is, so a lot more of us are working on healing our own inner child and creating a beautiful environment for our kids that they're able to flourish in and find themselves in, and be able to ask the questions and have the conversations that we're having now, instead of just like kind of throwing them out to the wolves and like pretending like they're meant to figure this out on their own and they got it. And I mean, I don't really blame our parents, but I think a lot of our parents I
blame them.
And the only reason I say I don't blame them is just because like when I look at a lot of not everyone, but a lot of people's parents, like I see this like 8 to 14-year-old little kid that just stopped growing and like emotionally, spiritually, everything, and now they're this big nasty flesh suit that has no way to fucking have their own fucking thought process or anything. And some of them are slowly like waking up and healing. Like I had to have a conversation with my mom a while ago. I'm like, do you have any idea how fucking hard it is to try to heal from trauma that you passed down to us while you're still reliving it over and over and over again? Then do you not realize how much that is that you're asking of your children to heal from shit that you don't even want to admit to?
You're not even gonna do it.
So like the fact that we're getting there, like that's why I say like I don't fully blame them, because I don't, like a lot of them didn't have the tools either, but at the same time like so many of our parents were so ignorant and were just like, oh, we're gonna have kids, and like at the end of the day you just created like your token black child, your token mixed child, your whatever it is, your token gymnast child, your whatever, and that's it. That's all that like their kids were to them. And I think it's really cool that now we're getting into this point of like parenthood, and again where like, oh no, these are whole souls, these are whole people. Like when a lot of these kids, this new generation of these kids were born, they're indigo babies. Like an indigo babies, like if you know anything about the indigo babies, like those are some fucking
those babies is terrible.
Man, they're gonna do some amazing things out there. So like I say all that to say that like I'm eternally grateful that I was chosen to be one of those parents of one of those babies, to 2 of those babies at that. And man, I know we got some powerful kids.
1,000%.
And like I'm so excited for what they're gonna teach us, and like I'm really grateful for the people that we've encountered, because like I know I got a lot of fucking learning to do. One of the things I want to do a podcast too called Shut Up and Listen, where it's where just white women shut the fuck up and listen and let other people tell them things and fucking learn, instead of having like this textbook thing of what we're trained to fucking listen to, and create a new environment of like, hey, like if we all really want to heal and grow and be in these uncomfortable situations, let's get in these uncomfortable situations and let's do it.
It's like you got to be open to those conversations, and like you're saying, a lot of them are like, no, or they make it personal, and it's like, bro, it's not. It's like, it might have been your grandpappy and you didn't, but it's like it's still part of you.
But it's not even that. Like we want to sit there and say that. Like I was just talking to Connie about this the other day. It's rooted in us. Like it's not just from your grandpappy and your parents. And no, like I went to high school with so many kids. Like I went and looked on their Facebooks the other day, and all their Facebooks from high school, they were throwing up the white power fucking, and it's on their Facebook to this day. And I'm like,
damn,
burnt out.
But again, those were people I went to high school with. those were people I were around. Some of those people were my friends. And so I can't sit here and pretend like I'm better than those people and that I wasn't around that. Like, you have to acknowledge and heal from it. But we also can't sit here and be like, yeah, my grandparents were racist. That was also built into you. You were raised by those people. And like, no matter
epigenetic.
Yeah, and no matter how far we want to pretend like we're removed from that, until you do the fucking work yourself, your fucking self, and quit being like, oh, but I'm a really good person. Hey, I'm a really, really good person. I don't give a fuck if you're a really good person. I really don't give a flying fuck if you think you're
all that matters.
Yeah, and that's not all that fucking matters. Like, we all have shit in us that we need to work on. Like, and until you can acknowledge that and not pretend that you're better than someone else too. Like, one thing I'm trying really hard to do is elevate without judgment. And I've learned it's one of the hardest things in the world to do. Because every time you elevate, it's so easy to be like,
you'd be like, yeah, like, you still over there.
Doing
yeah, right. But then be like,
know,
hey, that's your journey, actually. I can't be mad. There's a point where y'all probably looked at me like that.
100%.
Like,
yeah, for sure.
No, I love that. Thank you, guys. Like, I would say, do you have any messages to, like, those who are currently in an interracial relationship that they, like, should kind of, like, take from this? Or, like...
I do.
She says, yeah, I was like, go, girl.
And I mean, and this is directed to white men, white women, white men, white women. If you cannot look at yourself in the mirror and acknowledge every little racist piece about you, get the fuck out of whatever relation you need to be with a white person, period.
Yeah.
Period. If you cannot look at your partner and see them, you should not be in that relationship. If you take everything that has to do with race personally, just be done. Go do the work with someone else. Your partner doesn't need to be the one doing that work with you or for you.
Yeah.
Black people, brown people have been doing the work for us for fucking centuries. Go do it yourself.
Yeah. Oof.
That
was it.
I think all I would say is segregation set us back 6,000 years. This is a product of it. I'm undoing it.
We was drinking from our own fountain, damn it.
We had our own fountain.
We
We didn't have Becky putting peas in everything.
Oh, the shepherd's pie.
One day we'll get back to that, but until then, just live by love. Don't judge. Don't go to what you're attracted to. You know what I mean? Like, everything happens for a reason, and just lean into that and know that the Most High Source, whatever, Big Mama, whatever you want to call it, we all got to go back to that center point.
That's Big Mama.
That's Big Mama, the Source, the whole nine. We got to get back to her at some point. So it's just love thy neighbor like you love yourself, and then once we get them off the planet, the everybody knows who the ops is. If you don't know who the op is, then you probably are the ops.
You probably is the ops.
So it's like, just get out the way, love yourself so you can love somebody else. And when you find yourself in this reality, you won't judge it, and you can build a kingdom.
Hey, I like that. Okay, preacher over here. Yay. Well, thank you guys for coming on and telling your story and being honest and open and raw and all the stuff. I know it's going to make some people uncomfortable, and that's what I want. Uncomfortable. I mean, usually this is the part where I usually have you plug yourself. You got anything going on you want people to know about?
Going back to school, really just focusing on that. I got some music coming this year. You can find me on all platforms under CONNYTH3GREAT. That's Connie the Great. I've been working for 4 years on this Divine Feminine tape, and I think Big Mama and I are ready to drop it and let the world hear the frequency. So tap in with me. Follow me on Instagram at Cosmic, KASMYC. I got a lot of different names because there's a lot of different people. Shout out
you got
to
Patricia, Leslie.
You know, Leslie's doing this thing. But yeah.
Is you singing on there?
Oh, I can.
I still been trying to get her on the track. She's just probably going to do a voiceover.
I struggle with that stuff. No, I can't sing either.
He's like,
that's what auto-tune's for.
Yeah, there you go. You can just do some ad-libs or something.
No, we'll figure something out.
We're
going to get the babies on there. Then we'll get them doing some ad-libs for real.
Yeah, that's fast.
I love that. Well, yay. Well, all right, guys, I'm going to end our show. And if you guys want to look at my stuff, you already know to go to expansionwithransom.com.
Yes.
And if you want to be on the show, you can email me at expansionwithransom@outlook.com. And I'll see you on the next episode.
Yay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.